Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Unpacking Love. So excited to be doing this episode with two amazing guests. We've got Steph in the building. Steph, girl, what's going on?
Hey, Michelle. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. And for people who listen to this podcast, you'll remember Steph from the Love is Blind episode. And then we've got our first time guest today. We've got Nana in the house. Nana, what's going on?
I'm just excited to be here. See what we got going on today.
Hey, I'm excited. I'm really excited to have these two guests, share their thoughts about today's topic, which brings me to today's topic. I'm going to put the link to the TikTok video that I'm referencing in the description box so that you guys can watch that if you want to watch it. But anyway, we're going to be talking about that today. Essentially, Kev on stage, who's a comedian, received some sort of communication from some guy who was saying when he was online dating, some girl sent him a whole full-blown questionnaire. And basically, he then sent it over to Kev on stage, and then Kev was just going through the questions. So in this episode, my guests and I are just going to be sharing our thoughts about this questionnaire. So I'm going to start with Nana. Question, Nana. If you're online dating, would you have asked someone to fill in a questionnaire to begin with?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, theoretically, that sounds nice, but honestly, I'm too lazy, one, to put together the questionnaire, and then yeah, maybe reading the responses would be interesting, but imagine I do that for all the different people that I'm trying to match with in their profiles. Then I'm reading 5, 10 different survey answers. Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
You're good. Steph, how about you?
Man, yeah, personally, I think I'm also very lazy to have to put together all of this. It's a lot. But I can see why someone would do this, it's just time consuming having to date around and just be disappointed because there are a lot of guys out here that, you date them for a bit and you're like, okay, bye. So I can see why I can see why someone would want to do this, but personally, I wouldn't. It's a lot. And I think it's
Mm.
better to just, good old conversation. You can still ask these questions in person. Not all of it. There's some questions in there. It's like, bro, why? But yeah, I think this is a little bit much for me to do.
Okay. And for people who are listening, this questionnaire had 26 questions on there. And all the questions, all the questions had answer options. So you could pick from whatever was on there. And then sometimes you could explain yourself or why you picked something. So to answer the same question, I would not ask people to fill in a questionnaire because I think that's just doing the most.
Mhm.
It's honestly not to say it's not that deep, but I feel like I like it when things are more organic or things organically come up in conversation. So to give someone a questionnaire is a no for me, which leads me to my second question of if someone was to give me a questionnaire, like would I fill it in? And the answer is definitely not. I would not because first of all, I don't read things I don't necessarily have to read. It's not in me.
Yep.
I feel like some of my friends can even tell you that we'd be texting this girl, she won't reply for a minute.
Oh
So,
my God. Yep.
now imagine a whole questionnaire and I have to go through this. And not only that, I feel like when we talk about the questions that were listed on here, some of them were very, very personal. I don't
Yeah.
know if I want someone who only knows my name to know what I think about some of the things that were asked. So that's my response to that. How about you, Steph? Would you fill in a questionnaire if it was sent to you?
I would not. If I see this, that's bye-bye already. I'm like, okay, nice to meet you. I'm not doing this. 'Cause this is a lot and it's too personal.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, I feel like this person's gonna be single for a while because
Just try.
Facts.
Steph.
Facts.
at least let it be 5 questions or something, 26. And there are options for each question. Man, it's so organized. Man.
I'd be like, yo, is this like a grad school experiment? That's what I would be asking, to be honest. Bro, I'm not doing that. If I saw that, it
Yeah.
would be the same response.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm
but
not
here's the
doing it.
thing. Here's the thing, though. To give this person credit, at the end of the questionnaire, she said, "See, question mark, exclamation mark. I knew you could do it, exclamation mark. And then there was the clapping hand emoji, and y'all, it was a black hand. It's a black woman. I'll
Is
send out
is
this
a clapping
questionnaire.
hand? Is a
Oh,
clapping hand emoji coming with like a $50 Zelle to my bank account? Like,
Right?
what do I get for doing this
Exactly.
survey? Like,
yeah.
And
nah, I'm good.
then and then at the end, she was like, thanks so much for taking time to answer my questions. Please leave whatever contact information you want me to have. That is phone number, Instagram, etc. Wow.
Nah. I need you to have. If you have time to put together a survey like that for dating, I'm gonna need you to have like more hobbies or extracurricular activities.
Man. Okay, cool. So now we're actually going to go into each of the questions that were listed on the questionnaire. And then we're going to share what we think about the question, including whether we think that was a reasonable question to ask or not. So I'm going to ask Nana. Nana, so she asked, are you married? And the responses were yes, no, separated. What do we think about this question?
Yeah. So first, I want to like quickly qualify what I was saying before. I get why people would do it, but yeah, like I wouldn't do it and I wouldn't respond. Like, so I do want to clarify that I do understand why someone would
Yeah.
put this together. Now, this first question, like, it seems like a silly question, but hey, like, some people be trying to have arrangements in these streets. So I get why it's asked. Like, I hate having to say that it's a reasonable question, but it kind of
Yeah.
is. It kind of is.
Yeah. And Steph, I hear you agreeing. What are your thoughts about this?
I feel like there should be another option to say, not that I know of, like the response.
Damn.
No, because like a lot of trifling people out here. Like, how are you married and you're on a dating site? Like, what are you doing? But yeah, it's a very legit question because
Mm.
I can
No,
see why.
honestly, for real, I mean, I'm with you guys. I think this was a very reasonable question to ask, which is very unfortunate, right? Because we do live in a world where, people are in some serious commitments, married, and they're still looking for girlfriends or looking for boyfriends. So I think asking this question and being so direct, like yes, no, separated. If someone was to answer this and say, yes, I'm married, then it's up to whoever's receiving this response, right? Like this questionnaire response to be like, do I want to be with a married person? But like now, at least she's given herself like a chance to know the truth before she steps into something. Because I've also had like heard friends who said like, you know what? Um, it's actually better for you to ask because sometimes these crazy people who'll be married and looking for girlfriends, when you then find out they have a wife and you ask them like, why did you never tell me? They'll be like, you never asked. Well, here you have it. She asked.
Yep.
So I think it's a reasonable question.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm. hmm Next question. What are your dating goals? And the responses were not sure / just vibing, casual sex / dating, short-term relationship, long-term relationship, life partner / marriage. Steph, what do we think?
Hey, I think this is a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is something I would ask on an actual date, not, you know, not this type of way, but yeah, but I think it's a good question because you need to know what you're, if you're trying to be casual and the person is not, you need to know that. If it's long term, you want to
hmm
know so you don't waste your time. So yeah, it's a good question. I definitely would ask this question on a date.
Yeah. Nice. How about you, Nana? What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's a valid question to ask because people can date for all different reasons, right? Some
hmm
folks want to have fun. Some folks just want to have casual sex. Some people are looking for a life partner, and if that alignment is not there from the outset, you have very mismatched expectations, and that creates
hmm
problems.
Yep.
So I thumbs up to this question.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this one, from all three judges gets a good question. I'm gonna give it a good question as well. And I think honestly, it's always good to know right from the start if you are aligned. Like if someone is looking for something casual and they tell you, and then you decide to catch feelings, it's on you, right?
Facts.
But if if they told you they were looking for a relationship and then it turns out that they were actually just looking for something casual, then it's not your fault because they had presented themselves as wanting something serious. So I think it's a good question. Next question. Do you believe in marriage or is it just a piece of paper? Let's hear it from Nana.
That's I don't know. Like I mean, I think it's probably a valid question just because people come from very different um histories around that and traditions around that. Um and but I think it's also important to consider that like marriage also looks different in various cultures, right?
Hmm.
Um so I actually think that's probably a relatively complicated question that it wouldn't even be worth me trying to ascertain through a survey if I were the
Mm.
person, um, you know, actually reviewing these survey results. Like, I think that that question is too complicated for me to gain what would be most useful or what I think I would want to gain from what I hear when I hear that question.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad question. It's not something I would ask on the first date. Um, because I mean, you want to get to know someone a little bit, you know, before you
Hmm.
start talking about marriage.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I would say. Okay, from a formatting perspective, or like creating a survey or questionnaire thing, I mean, she could have done a better job here. Okay. So, okay, question number two, you've asked someone what are their dating goals, right?
Mhm.
Then let's say they pick something that's not marriage. Why are you asking them if they believe in marriage? So I feel like this one should have been optional. And actually, it was funny because on her survey thing, it had little stars that said like you have to answer this, right? Like
Oh
it won't.
wow!
Yeah. Like it won't allow you. All the questions had the red star. Like it won't allow you to submit if you don't
Bro, did she
answer.
put this in Qualtrics? Like, what?
Listen, this was well done, but I feel like my girl, if you're listening, you could have done a better job. But anyway, that was more of like, formatting. But now talking about the question itself, I actually think that this is leading the witness. Okay, guys, I'm saying leading the witness because I like these type of law and order type of, shows, how to get away with murder. But how are you going to ask someone, do you believe in marriage or is it just a piece of paper? Because the way that you've even phrased it is like,
Right.
is it just a, it's like you're saying like, there's
You've
one
asked
good
two different
answer to
questions
this.
in one.
Yeah, I feel like there's one good answer to this. Who's gonna be like, it's just a piece of paper? I feel
Yeah,
like maybe this could have been an open-ended question, like, what are your thoughts about marriage? And then the
Right.
person can say, like what they think. So, I'm gonna say this was a bad question. It gets a bad question from me.
it's not a good question. I definitely would not ask that.
Yeah. Next question: highest level of education: undergrad degree, master's degree, doctorate, other.
Ooh. You know, there we could see some elements potentially of classism in this question.
Mhm.
But I will say, like, this is it can be a meaningful question because a lot of times, like, people's educational experiences are a foundation for like a sort of like even if people haven't met before or haven't been in the same exact environment before or whatever, like the level even like the level of education or like the types of jobs you've been in and the type of career you've been in can create
Mm,
a sort of sense of shared experience even if you haven't
mm,
shared that experience with a person, right? So I'll give you an example for like with my wife, right?
mm-hmm,
She's Liberian, moved here when she was 10. We both went to boarding schools, didn't go to the same boarding school, but like that was something we talked about the first time we met. We're both
mm,
in uh Black Greek letter organization, something we talked about and bonded over the first time we met, right? And
Mhm.
so and that's something you experience when you go to college, right? So I think that is actually a decent screener question, even though it can seem potentially a bit elitist or whatever, because I think it allows you to say, okay, like, are there certain things that I might be able to like that may be easier to engage this person with
mm-hmm.
because we share that type of experience, or maybe this is a place where we don't share that type of experience. Um,
Right.
and also depending on how much of your life or how much of the way that you view the world has been shaped through or by your educational experiences. Um, I definitely think there's some validity to being able to get a sense of that before you engage with someone.
Mm, mhm,
Huh. Yeah, I don't like this question. Um, I I can see like what Nana was saying. I can see how shared experiences can just, you know, just make the conversation better or just to build on from there. I see that. But I feel like the way the question is worded, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like if you're talking to someone, you're getting to know
Mm,
them, like maybe, you know, and it comes up like, oh, I used to live in, say, Minnesota, right? And you're like,
mhm,
oh, you know, what did you do in Minnesota? Like, and they're like, oh, I did undergrad there, or I did so and so there, and then I moved to here after for this. I feel like it just comes in conversation, and then not necessarily to put it out there like, hey, what is your highest level of education? Because kind of like if you don't meet a certain standard, I don't want to continue this. Because oh, I have my master's, you don't. Oh, I have my,
mm.
you don't. That's kind of how that's the vibe I get from the way the question is worded.
I would say, Stephanie, I get I actually get the same exact vibe, right? Like it's uncomfortable because I think a lot of times we look at that type of question and can say like, oh, that's rude, right? But if that's something that's important to a person, I
Mhm.
think for the purposes of like if I were trying to get a set of information around like this person so I can screen, is this worth me continuing to pursue? Like
Mhm.
I certainly get why that question would be asked,
Right.
even if it's like kind of uncomfortable and kind of like could be perceived as certainly elitist.
Right.
Mhm. Both of you bring up really good points. I think what everyone is saying is like, okay, this is an uncomfortable question. There could be some classism in it, but I think I also stand with Nana. It's like, okay, I think at the end of the day, people like what they like or they want what they want. Just from reading this question without even meeting the person who wrote it, I know that they value education a lot because even the options they gave, there's an undergrad degree, master's, doctorate, other, like, which is crazy to me because I'm like, oh wow, high school wasn't even listed on here. It just said the
At
rest of
all.
your like you're gonna be in other. So I mean, for me personally, like education is something that matters, and it's actually very interesting because this one time, uh, I had gone out like with my friends, like for dinner or whatever, and then some guys came, sat with us, started talking to us, blah blah blah. Anyway, so this guy, he was like, well put together, like eloquent, like, things were great. Like he was fine 99. Okay. Anyway, he I'm just saying, like in the department of looking fine, like this man was good looking. And also, let me tell you something. So I'd ordered like a whole plate. It was like a barbecue plate with like a bunch of like meats and whatever. And so much so, like this guy was so fine that when he came, I offered him that meat. Like, what?
Oh,
I don't offer anyone meat. Anyway,
Wait,
oh, I
that's
cannot.
not why we're gathered here, guys. Anyway, I just want to explain. Like
Okay, go
that's
ahead,
for
please.
another
he was
episode. We
ticking.
can do a whole episode on that.
Anyway, and the guy was nice and all of that stuff. He asked for my number. I was like, oh, you know what? I can see it's good looking offspring, whatever. Let's give him the number. Anyway, so I give him the number, and then the next morning or whatever, he's like, good morning, and then like we're messaging. Anyway, all of this is to say, in now just talking, right? Like, oh, blah blah blah, getting to know someone or whatever. He I think essentially like I was talking about work or something, and like I don't know, I was like how I was tired, and so he was like, "Oh, I don't understand why you're tired if you're working from home." I was like, "Okay," and it turned out, was doing more of like kind of manual work, like more like
Yeah.
painting buildings and that kind of stuff, right? Which is fine. Like I don't disrespect anyone's career. Like if that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. But anyway, in talking to him, something that he then mentioned was that he went to college and then he dropped out of college. And not only that, because I mean, some people, yeah, you go to college, you drop out because they're like, this is not for me. But then he also then completely wrote off education, so much so that when he was talking to me about it, he was like, oh, like my family is just pushing me to go into school. I don't want to go back to school. But then, like, career wise, he's also not happy with what he's doing. And so to me, it was just like, the education thing was not just education. It was also like ambition. Like, what do you want
I-
out of life, right? Because the reason why you're doing this type of job right now is because you don't have options to do other
Mhm,
things. You're
mhm.
complaining about the job that you're doing, but at the same time, you don't want to go back to school. And
Yeah, you're doing anything about it.
yeah, you're making it seem like the people who are like your family who's forcing you to like you don't have to do the same program, but go to school, look for other opportunities. You're making it seem like it's a burden on you. But I'm like, so you see, that's the thing. Sometimes it's not only about the education level, it's also about like, can you even think outside of the box of like where you're at? You know, now it would be different if, for example, someone drops out of college and then they come up with this brilliant idea and, you know, like they're really like you have something that you're going after. But if you're just like, okay, you've dropped out of school, you don't like what you're doing, but you're also it's giving you stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah. The next question was, how would you describe your financial / employment situation right now? Open-ended, free form.
It's just how she's asking these questions. Like you can find out where someone works and like, you know, stuff that they have going on. Eventually in conversation, I'm like, okay, Michelle, so where do you work? That's a valid
Mm.
question, right? And
Mhm.
then just kind of go from there, I guess. But like some questions are too personal. Well, how am I gonna meet you day one? And not only do I ask you where you work, I'm like, what do I want to know? Like, can you afford
Mm.
to raise a family right now? I mean, it's a good question. It's just the wording. I don't know how else she could have worded this. I can see
Mm.
the importance of the question because sometimes, and it depends though. Like, if you're at a stage where you're like, I'm not trying to waste time. I just want to know, are we a good fit? Can we
Mhm.
get married? Okay, fine, I guess. But it's not something I would do, or it's not. I won't be this straightforward with the question.
Mhm. I mean, I think I'm with you on that, Steph. I think essentially when I read this question, how would you describe your financial or employment situation right now? I can tell that money is really important, right? And
Money
essentially,
is
like
important.
what you, Steph, you said money is important though?
I mean, it is like if we're like at this stage in life, if you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to date for a future with someone, you can't go
Mm-hmm.
into a relationship and you don't have anything going on for yourself
Mm,
at
mm, mm,
all.
mm.
So then what's the plan? Like go work that out and then come and date.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, right? But I feel like maybe I'm with you on it could have been phrased differently. And also I know, Steph, you said like maybe she could have asked like where do you work? But I also think even that question is could be off, right?
Right,
Because
right.
you're assuming that someone works. So I think at the core of it, this person really wants to know like, are you broke right now or do you have some money? That's what she wants to know. But then I think she's trying to be diplomatic about how to ask the
Yeah.
question. um I don't know. I mean, I feel like there could have been like a better way of asking, but I can't come up with another way of asking.
And then depending on like who you're talking to at the time, maybe they're still in school finishing up
Mm-hmm.
something.
Right.
Maybe they're not working at the moment, but it's just how she's wording her questions. Because like if you assume someone worked, right, and they're like, "Oh no, I
Mm-hmm.
was finishing up my degree or something." I mean, to me, it would show that okay, you're not ready to move to the next step like anytime soon.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But I might still be willing if you're a decent person. Some people are worth waiting for.
True. You know what? Maybe what she could have asked would have been like, what do you spend your 9 to 5 doing?
Yeah, but some
Like,
people work. Some people work 8 to 4, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Like, here's what I'm going to say about this question. One,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I feel like this lady probably needs to take a quick course in survey development and research methods. Um, because
Quick
yeah, like
course.
I don't think the way she's asking her questions, like, and this is going to be slightly academic and off to a tangent, but like also because part of my job right now is like understanding, trying to gain customer insights and things like that. I tend to be hyper focused on like what do I actually want the person to answer, right? What
Mm-hmm.
information do I want to get? And the way this question is worded, you can get all type of stuff, right?
Mm.
Um, so I'd probably strike this question. The other thing too, I think like Stephanie said, like this person could be in grad school, they could be in all sorts of, any number of arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not sure that I like the question.
Yeah.
It also
Mhm,
makes me
mhm.
wonder, would it be more valuable for you to just indicate the things that you like
Yeah.
rather than having this like open-ended survey and making someone answer answer
Yeah.
this series of questions. The more and more we go through this, the more I'm feeling like this was kind of it's a bit pretentious, but
Mhm.
let me hear more questions and see if I still feel that way in about 5 questions.
Mm. You know what? I think I'm with you guys, right? I think that at the end of the day, this was a bad question. I think that honestly, she could have just asked like, what do you spend most of your time doing? I get still that that doesn't get to what she's trying to get at, but she could get a sense, right? Like if someone asks me like, what do you spend most of your time doing? In my answer, I could indicate that, well, when I'm not working, this is what I do. Then you get the sense that I am working, right? And then I do other things on the side. So I don't know. I feel like, yeah, to your point, it was a terrible question.
Yeah. She should have just made a list of things that she likes and things that she
Hmm.
wants and put it out there and say, hey, if you're in alignment with all of this, then drop your email or your Instagram and let's talk. Because like it's not working.
Oh man. And also, you know what? I can see somebody taking the quiz or questionnaire. You get to question 5 and you're like, nah, man,
Yeah.
you close that tab real quick because you're like, where's this going? Yeah, no, I feel you. The next one was, how would you describe your current living situation? And the options were, I own a place slash living alone, living with roommates, living with family, and then other. I feel like nah. I think on my end, I'm like, it's too soon. Like, why do you need to know
Yeah.
what? Like, why are you asking in a survey what someone's current living situation is? Like,
Facts.
even on a first
Facts.
date, you would not ask someone if they live alone or with their friends or with some of these things. They just come out in conversation, right?
Yeah.
Like, someone would be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah," like I was just talking to my roommates. Then you're like, oh, they live with their roommates. Or like, oh, my brother, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, you're talking to your brother. You talk to your brother often. Then you'll be like, I live with my brother. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is crazy. Yeah. Any different thoughts on that one? Does anyone think it's a good question?
Nope.
It's not
It is not a good question. Okay, cool. The next
right.
one is strike. 6 was a strike. The next one is, do you have kids? Yes or no? Let's hear it from Nana.
That's a valid question,
It
man.
is a valid question.
Because kids are not like everyone. That's not where everyone is in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's not dating and trying to jump into a situation where it's like, oh yeah, I'm basically a stepmom or a stepdad. And
Mm-hmm.
so I
Mm-hmm.
do think that that's a valid thing to get out in front of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't have, even if y'all agree not to meet each other's kids right away or whatever it is, I think that's a good thing to be pretty upfront about. So I'm okay with that question being asked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same here. Valid question.
very valid. The next one is, do you want kids? Yes, no, not sure.
Also very valid.
Yeah, I think it's a very valid question. I think that pretty much like what Nana said, not everyone wants kids anyway. So if as the person writing this questionnaire, I want to have kids, and then someone answers with either a no or a not sure, then that's not my person.
Mm.
Because especially, you know what, and I always say this, especially for the not sure people, I just feel like if if you really want to have kids and someone tells you that they're not sure, then I feel like it's actually better to go in assuming that they don't want to have kids. Because if you go in thinking that they might change their minds and they end up swinging, they're not sure to know, then like it's not gonna be good, right?
Yep. I agree.
Hmm.
I think generally it's good. I think the only thing to sort of be mindful of is where they answered and what you feel about what you're looking for in a relationship. Because if you're both looking for
Mm,
something casual, does it really matter if you want kids? Um,
right.
so that's the only contingency that I would have.
I love that a lot. Yeah. Again, this girl, she could have done a better job with this survey. Um, does everyone need to answer, do you want kids? Honestly, if it's casual. But anyway, cool. So the next question is, if you had a child who was LGBTQ plus, would you love them and support their choices, love them but not support / condone their life choices, disown them, or other?
I get what she's trying to get at. I think that's probably an early question, and I think that's or probably a bit early for this question.
Mm.
Um, this turned into like I thought I was about to be clowning this survey, but now I'm giving like serious answers. Um, no, I also think too that I'm not sure that the question is all that fair because I think that's actually a journey that there can be a journey that couples go on together.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um, and like people grow into like different beliefs, new beliefs, evolved beliefs based on what they see, what they experience, what people close to them experience. So I'm not sure that that's like a useful question
Mhm.
at this stage, right? Like I'm just not convinced that that's useful at this stage.
Mhm.
I completely agree. This is also a strike.
Steph is so good at like, let's strike this question. Let us strike this question. No,
Yeah.
honestly, and I think I am with Nana as well, right? That it's too soon. And I think also some of these things, answers can also change if someone is now in this
Hmm.
situation, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Too soon.
Too soon, too deep, too soon, bruh. Like, what? It's like learning to swim and then someone just throws you into the deep end to learn. Like, that's wild. Are you a person of faith? And then in, I guess, options, there was i.e. Christian, Muslim, etc, question mark. And then it says yes, no, somewhat, other. Thoughts?
Personally, this question is important to me. I would
Okay.
want to know, especially, if I'm looking for something long term, I
Mm-hmm.
would like someone that aligns with my faith. So yeah, it's something I would want to know. It's a
Mm.
valid for me.
It's a good question for Steph. How about you, Nana?
I think this is similar to maybe it was the question about kids or something like that. I think it's probably valid for certain types of situations depending on what you're looking for. So if you're largely looking for something that's uh, more longer term,
Mm-hmm.
um, then I think it's a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think if you're interested in something casual, and to be honest, I don't think you would be issuing this type of a survey if you were looking for something casual. Let's
True.
be
Right,
honest.
right, right.
So just assuming that the writer of this survey is looking for something long term, I do think it's a valid question. I think that's I mean because that's a foundational element of a lot of people's lives.
Yep, yep. I agree with you guys. I would say it's a good question. Cool. Number 11. Are you close with your family? Yes, no, other.
I don't think that's a screening question. I just don't. I think it can have very complicated and messy answers.
Mhm.
I think it could probably lead to unfair judgments or incomplete judgments that are not at all contextualized
Mhm.
with this set of screening questions. So I don't know why you need to know that in a screening questionnaire.
Mm. I agree with you, Nana, for real. I think that essentially, right, the only way, like if you haven't spoken to someone to hear their full life story and you ask them this question, are you close with your family? Yes, no, other. There isn't even space for them to explain. And first of all, why do they have to explain all this to you when they just met you? But
Right.
anyway, there isn't even an option for you to like write out what caused anything. It's a very unfair question because the only way I can see this being like a question or like a response that would be acceptable is if the person was to say yes, right? Because if someone was to just say no and you don't give them room to explain, like what then, right? So I think
Yep.
I
And
am
what
with
does close even mean? What does close
right.
mean?
That's a good. It's a good question. Steph, any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it is not a question for a survey and probably not on the first date. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like some of these questions, I think depending on how your conversation is going, it might come up. Like if say we're talking, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
tell you, oh, and I went camping with my mom last weekend, something, right?
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, that's nice. Are you close with your mom? Something like that. And then we can go on from there. But the way
Mhm.
she just stays these questions, it's not working.
It's not working. It is a no from
I
everybody.
cannot date her. You know what she should have just like put like a note after number 2 that if you answer casual sex/dating, do not proceed.
Proceed. But even still, I also feel like even if someone did say they were looking for marriage, this is a why are you asking? Because even on a first date, if someone was to ask me, "Are you close with your family?" That's none of your business,
Yeah,
actually.
too
Like we're
soon.
not. Yeah, we're not even there. So even for someone who is looking for marriage, it's like, no, no. Like you're just. I think some of these things also just let people tell you by themselves when they're feeling comfortable, especially if people have things that they've gone through, or like traumatic
Yeah,
experiences, or like they're not close with their family and it's not by choice. You know what I mean? Like what if the parents are in jail and like they haven't seen them for years? Like you just don't know what
yeah,
people are going through when you ask these questions. So I would strike the question as well.
yeah.
Number 12, have you ever been to therapy? The answer choices were: I'm currently in therapy, I've been to therapy in the past, I haven't been to therapy but would go, I've never been to therapy, I don't feel I need it.
Another unnecessary
Yeah,
question.
this shit has got to be violating HIPAA laws, man.
Another unnecessary question. Like, who does she think she is?
Bruh, no, bruh, no, no, no,
I cannot.
no.
I cannot. Yeah, this is a strike for me.
Do you know what? And even for me, I would strike this question. I can see why she was asking, right? Because I think what she's
Mhm.
trying to get at in her mind is, well, because especially with how she phrased the answers, right? Like especially the last part that says, "I've never been to therapy. I don't feel I need it." She's trying to
Mhm.
see if someone is open to going to therapy. And here's the thing, guys. I think that therapy is great. Don't even get me wrong. Therapy is
Mhm.
great. What I don't like though is people who make people feel terrible just because they've never been to therapy.
Right.
I love it when people encourage people to go to therapy. What I don't like is when people judge people for not
Yeah.
going to therapy. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Sha, like people are gonna do what they feel like, is working for them at the time. So that's why I just don't like the way that this was asked. Because it's like, essentially like what you're saying is if someone has not gone to therapy, like there's something wrong with them.
Yep.
I got instantly irritated when I heard that question.
Yeah.
Mm. This survey right now is really giving she's the red flag, but it is
Yeah, she
well.
is the red flag. For sure.
She's the red flag. The next question: what is your zodiac sign? And then it says sign, moon, and rising if you know it. Otherwise, when is your birthday?
Wow.
Bro, what?
Wow.
Next question. Next question.
No, wait, and you know what? For anybody who's listening who is into the zodiac stuff, this is no disrespect to you, but I feel like my reaction is because I really don't even know what a sign, moon, and rising is.
Yeah,
So
what
I
is
would be
Right.
just lost. I'm so lost. I don't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
that?
Um,
I
so
don't like
To
this
be honest, I would answer that question with a smiley face, to be honest.
this. Petty.
it's so wild to even ask someone when their birthday is. I don't know. I think this is it's a strike. Like, no.
Yeah, let's just go straight for it. Like, first off, like I'm not so big on zodiac signs, and
Mm,
then like you don't even know me like that, and you're asking
right.
when it's your birthday. Who said I want to give you that information?
Right, right, exactly, exactly. Because even on the dating apps, you actually don't put your birth. Like, I mean, you put your birthday so that they calculate your age, but they don't show your birthday to people,
Yep.
right? Like, if your birthday is like January 18th, they're not gonna put, "Oh, this person was born January," and there's a reason for that. And now here
Yeah,
you are with your survey asking, or like your questionnaire
exactly
asking
what I'm
when
saying. Like,
someone's
who the
birthday is.
is?
Yeah, no, it's a strike. Next question. This one is funny to me. Can you swim? Nana, yes, no. What do you think about this? Can you swim?
Now this is just getting ridiculous. Like these aren't even serious questions at this point anymore. Like, no. What,
But Nana, no, wait. When there's a questionnaire, right? You wanna have some serious questions and then some lighten the mood question. To me, This is a lightening the mood question, but I can tell that this woman, she likes going to the water. And what I'm telling from this
How
is
do you know that?
she does not want to rescue people who cannot swim. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting.
What if it's her way of determining if you're black or white? This is so simple.
That's an interesting insight though, Stephanie. That's an interesting insight.
Yeah.
That's an interesting insight.
I hadn't even thought about that, Steph. That's hilarious.
And that
Yo,
could
like,
either be like you could take that in a really funny way and be like, ah ha ha, or you can be like, damn, this kind of jacked up to be asking this. So that's either way, I think it's a dumb question. Like,
It is. I agree.
but that's an interesting layer.
oh man. No, honestly, Steph, the race thing was kind of a twist to everything. To be
Yeah.
honest. The next question. So clearly people want to strike this. Although I personally I think that, you know what? I would not strike this question. I think that, it's not intrusive to ask someone if they can swim.
Yeah.
Also, if you
Yeah.
don't want to rescue people, like honestly, if you like swimming, maybe she's one of those people who likes to do the scuba diving and the swimming in the ocean, and this person can't swim, then for her it's a compatibility thing. So I wouldn't strike it, but most
I get what you're saying, Michelle. Like, it's not an intrusive question for
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
but it's just like, oh, the questions like before that, I think it just makes it annoying at this point. It's like, what do you want? You know?
Yeah, I'm looking at that question like, don't waste my time, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see that. It's definitely not a serious question. The next question is this one is even more stupid. So for me, this is very the next question was, does the toilet tissue roll go over or under? And then it says over, under, doesn't matter. This is a very dumb question to me.
Yeah, it is very irrelevant. Like, what doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter even if he wants marriage with you or if he is casual. This is just it's a no. Nana, would you strike it?
Yeah, I mean, I've had funny conversations about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, when I was an RA in college, and anyway, I'm not going to get into that story, but I've had very funny conversations about this topic. But like, if I'm already asking you to fill these questions, like, I shouldn't assume that you're automatically so interested in me that you're going to take all this time to answer these questions that I have to ask you. So if I'm really trying to screen, like, let
Mm-hmm.
me just ask you what I need to get to and get to the point. I'm not going to waste your time and be like, oh, haha, I put that in to be funny. Like, no, I've already asked you to commit time. So yeah, strike the
Mm-hmm.
question.
Strike.
Yeah.
It's a strike. I agree. Do you have a passport? Yes or no? And in the survey, she put a picture of a passport, I guess to spice
Oh,
things up. Yeah, there was like
wow.
a little photo of a passport. So what?
Rude. This lady is rude. My God. You know what? If I was actually filling this survey, like, as I got to that part, I'm done. Like, it's not even what? She added a pic. I
She
cannot.
did.
I
She
cannot believe.
did. Nana, is this a good question? Because Steph is striking it.
No, I'm
I
striking it.
I get
Sure.
why she asked it, but I mean, there could be all sorts of reasons someone doesn't have a passport. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
at this point, I'm just irritated by the survey, to be honest.
Nana, you don't understand. It's the picture of the passport. The question is not horrible, but why would you include a picture of a passport? Like, who does not know what a passport looks like? And this Google, you can, if you don't know, you can search it. Why does she have to include
She
a
could, I
photo?
mean, even still, she could have just asked, "Do you like to travel, bruh?" Like, because you're even getting
Yeah.
into questions about
Mm,
like legal status and whatnot.
right.
Like,
Oh man. Yeah. Maybe that's what she was trying to get
nah,
at, actually. That's
this
wild.
is rude as hell, bruh.
Oh my gosh, people are so irritated, and you guys are not even taking the survey.
No, this is the most irritating question for me. It's the picture. The picture just kills me. The picture of a passport.
Okay, guys, I personally feel like, you know what? It was an okay question. I think, Nana, to your point, she could have asked, do you like to travel? Because I think asking for a passport just gets into a whole lot of things. So for those reasons, I would just, yeah, I would strike this question as well. And I'll probably rephrase it, in my opinion. The next question, I guess the next two questions have more to do with love languages. So I guess 17th question was my love language, and then in parentheses she said giving is. So I guess yeah, my love language when it comes to like giving the love language is and then acts of service, quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts. And then the 18th question was, my love language receiving is, and then, the 5 love languages. What do you think about that?
She's actually gotten back to like some valid questions.
Right.
Mm,
I do think this has to do with like compatibility. And I'll tell you, like, this is something that even like my wife and I at one point, like, we had a sit down because she's like, she loves gifts. And I'm a person that, like, naturally, I don't think about buying gifts often, you know?
mm,
And sometimes that can, like, that can become a thing, right? Like, how do you make someone feel loved in the way that they want to feel loved?
right.
Um, so especially if you're interested in something that's even like slightly beyond casual, uh,
Mm,
valid question to ask.
Steph, any thoughts?
I mean, yeah, it is a valid question. Again, depends on what you're looking for um in the relationship.
Yeah.
If it's casual,
Assuming
don't
it's
know if
serious. Let's assume it's serious. Is this a good question?
it's serious. I think it's a good question. I
Mm,
don't know if it would come to my mind to ask, but it is a good question.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I just think that it comes with assuming that somebody knows what the love languages are, which
Right.
not everyone knows what they are. So maybe she could have added definitions or a link to the 5 love languages.
She could have added definition. She added a picture of a passport.
That's what I'm saying, shoot, for real. But I think at the end of the day, though, it was a good set of questions there. The
Mhm.
next
Mm.
one, on a first date, who should pay? The man, whoever asks the other person, both, and then in parentheses it says split the bill or go Dutch, and then the other option is just other. Is this a good question?
Hmm. Nah.
I'm here for this. Okay, I was here for this response because of the laughter.
I
It's
know, right? Okay, why is it a bad question in your opinion?
I feel like it's irrelevant.
Okay.
Like you would find out. Like this is something you find out. We would go on the date
Mm-hmm.
and I would find out
Mm-hmm.
how to go. And then if I don't like if because if you're asking me out on a
Mm-hmm.
date, and I would expect you to take care of it.
Right.
Right. So if we went on set date and you didn't, then I'm like, oh, okay. Then it's noted. But I'm not gonna ask you before.
Right.
y- Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I feel like this is something that you can learn when you go on the date. Then you can see how someone is. Because also, when you ask someone this question, assuming that this man has never paid for a first date, and in his mind, he thinks that women should pay or like the bill should be split, he might, if he really likes you and he
Yeah.
wants to get you, he might actually just answer and say, like, the man should pay. But then
Yeah.
what you were trying to get at, if you're trying to get at like how his paying for things culture is, or like what that looks like, you've essentially like done a bad job at
Yep.
going about
Yep.
it. That's what I think.
Yep. You hear what Nana thinks, because
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that productive of a question, to be honest. If I was responding to the survey, which I wouldn't be, I would definitely put a trolling answer and be like, "You'll find out if we go on this first date."
which we wouldn't.
At this point, probably not, because I'm irritated by this survey.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So that one was definitely all striking it off the list. The next question, what's your preferred method of communication? Check all that apply. Can I just say, shout out to this girl for making these questions very different. Some of them you select an answer, some of them check as many as are applicable. So what's your preferred method of communication? Check all that apply. Texting, talking on the phone, FaceTime, in person. Nana, let's hear from you.
I think it's an interesting question, but like we haven't even been on a date yet. I don't even know if I like you. I don't know that I want to communicate with you. You know what I'm saying? And even if this is casual, like especially if it's casual, like we might only
Mm,
be communicating like because we know what time it is, you know? I'm not trying to actually communicate with you and figure out how your day is going. So
mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about the mindset of a person that might be responding to this question. So like I think you're wasting your time asking that question because,
Mm,
it may not even matter, to be honest.
right. How about you, Steph?
Yeah, it's not a horrible question. For a survey, obviously, we've determined a lot of these questions are horrible, but in person, I could ask that. it's not a horrible question.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is actually a good question. I and I'm just going off of like assuming this person, which I'm really thinking if you're creating a survey, it's not for something casual. If this person was serious about it, I think it is a good question to ask someone in general, like how they prefer to talk. Because some people um hate texting, like they actually cannot stand texting. And if you're someone who
Mhm.
wants to text throughout the day, unfortunately, like this is gonna be a problem, right? Like
Mhm.
also at the end of the day, if someone is like 30 and for 30 years they've hated texting, are you really gonna be the person who changes them? Maybe not. So if
Yeah.
that matters to you so much, then it is helpful to know how someone likes to communicate. Or maybe it even helps set the expectation for you that like, oh, this person said they prefer to text instead of calls. So maybe I can't be talking on the phone with this guy for like 5 hours a day because that's just not how he wants to talk. So I think it's a good question. Her heart was in the right place.
I think her heart was in the wrong place just putting together the survey, to be honest.
Yep. Yep.
I'm so weak. Man, yeah, for real, for real. All right, the next question is what's wrong with this picture? And it was a picture of a woman and a man on a sidewalk with the woman closer to the road and then the man closer to like the wall, right? So Steph, what do we think about this question?
Yeah, and very irrelevant. Like you would find out if you
Mm,
this person, and also like if if there are a lot of good qualities about someone,
mm-hmm.
I feel like there are things that you can correct, you can
Right, you can teach.
yeah, you could teach because it's not everyone that may know these things depending on the homes that they grew up in, right? But they're
Mm-hmm.
very decent and
Yo.
I
they should
agree.
get by, you know?
I
Mm-hmm.
agree.
Yeah, this survey is messed up.
I think the other piece about that is like that's like a I can answer that question and have that knowledge and still not be that type of dude that would take the street side of a sidewalk, right?
Mm.
Um, so like okay, I like
Do you
great.
know
You
what?
found out that a dude knows how to academically be a gentleman. Like, just meet the dude and talk to him, man.
Ah,
This is ridiculous.
Do you know what? And this is the thing. I think that it's even hilarious when you think about somebody. Like, imagine someone who really cannot see what's wrong with the picture. Now you're looking, trying to play spot the difference. Like, what is wrong with this picture? It's like, okay, is the sidewalk missing a piece? Like, what do you want me to say about this? So it was just a terrible question.
she's looking for someone who looks good on paper and not like real.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And also, she's asking a lot of questions that don't need to be asked. I honestly think that's a terrible question. Number 22, number 23, number 24. Name one No Skips album or mixtape, top three TV series or sitcoms of all time. What artists are heavy in rotation on your playlist right now? I'm just going to say for all three of those, terrible questions. You're wasting my
Yeah.
time. We don't
Yep.
like this is stuff that can come out when we're talking later. I don't need to answer this in a survey. So for me, it's a no.
It's a no.
Agreed.
I don't even want to get into it. It's a no.
Let's not, please. Yes. Number 25. Are you allergic to seafoods? Yes, no, not allergic. I just don't eat it.
Bro, don't waste my time, bro. Like,
Not even that. I just feel like imagine if someone is allergic to seafood, right? They're answering this survey or questionnaire. They're telling you they're allergic to seafood. What happens if one day you irritate them and now death by seafood? Like somebody puts a little piece of shrimp in your salad. Or like, let's say, for example, the girl really wants this guy. The guy figures out she doesn't want to be with her. Next thing, he just choked and died. What? Like, why are you asking this? That's wild to me. So no, it's a
not
no.
death by seafood though. Oh, that's hilarious.
No for me.
No, for everybody. And then finally, this was actually hilarious. And uh, you guys have to just see it on the TikTok thing that I linked in the description. But anyway, essentially, she said, choose the sentences that use the correct homophone. Which
Bro, I don't even know what a homophone is.
that's what I'm
Yo,
I
saying.
don't. I don't, to
I
be
had to
honest.
look it up. I had to look.
Bro, I didn't
Me
even spend the
too.
time looking it up.
I had to look it up, but she said choose the sentences that use the correct homophone. Check all that apply. The first one, now this is what I was saying, guys, that it's better if you see it on the actual survey, right? Because when I pronounce it, like you would know what's wrong with it. But anyway, the first one is you're beautiful. The second one is I think you're gorgeous. The next one is I haven't been over there yet. The next one is everyone's leaving their cars all over the place. The next one is they're coming over late. The next one is this questionnaire is doing too much. The next one is it's too hot in here. And the next one is
Bro, why does she
there.
have 8 examples?
The next one is
Why does she have 8 examples? Like,
Nana, let me say the last one. The last one is there isn't much left. Okay, Nana, go. Because you have a lot
I
of
wish you could
thoughts.
see my face right now because I'm legitimately irritated. Like, nah, bruh, nah.
Now, okay, here's the thing, guys. This is the thing. This question, honestly, I can tell from just reading this that this girl is tired of men who have bad grammar or use bad grammar. I don't know what it is, but like, honestly, it is very irritating when you see someone using your instead of you are, right? Like, it's like, what? You know? So I get it. Was the questionnaire the right way to do it? No, you can figure this out when you're texting someone, right? That they don't use the correct homophones or whatever it's called. So it's a no from me. How about you, Steph?
Yeah, and also like continuing from what you were saying, Michelle, like
Mm.
if someone has all these great qualities and this is the issue,
Mm.
you can correct, you can just fix it. I get it. It's like I've had this in the past and I was like, bro, like what? Like it was really, really not working for me. But I mean, at that time, it's not like I was looking for something serious. You
Mm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
we're just talking, getting to know each other. So it wasn't anything I'm like, oh, maybe I can fix it. It was like, bye, But I could, I can see why she would want to know, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely not appropriate. It's not something you ask in a survey.
Mm-hmm.
It's disrespectful. She's disrespectful at this point.
like for real though. For real though. For real.
You guys are hella mad. People are pissed about this.
I feel like she's probably like a GRE or a SAT examiner or something. Because these questions and like everything, she has to be an examiner. Because this is ridiculous.
Listen, well, we've come to the end of like all the questions, and I counted the number of questions that may have made it to a survey had we even come up with a questionnaire or whatever. And there were 7 or 8 at most. So, man, an 8 or 7 out of 26, this was just terrible. Honestly, just ask people in person. Nobody has time to fill in surveys. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like this, for me personally, like this ain't it. So I would just scratch the whole survey. And I think Steph probably feels the same way as Nana.
Yep. Nana, what does you?
You don't have to ask me. Like, y'all heard my sentiments this whole time. Y'all know how I feel.
Yeah, Michelle, if you come across any information where she did find someone out of this, I would love to know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to interview that man. Like, bring him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I actually, but don't make me be on the podcast with him. I would probably just react and be like, "That's dumb,"
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
But I want to know, like, did she find someone who took the time to fill this out and like still went on a date after filling it out?
Yo, hey, and if she is listening, let us know. Did you find the love that you were looking for? But anyway, this was so fun, Nana and Steph.
Dang,
I know
Michelle,
that
why did you
after
bring that
this,
up? Because now I realize I might have just trashed someone that could be listening.
I know.
And
I
it's not
too. I was thinking that
it's not her personally. It's just I think the survey is trash. Like the concept of surveying someone this way is trash. You are not trash, ma'am.
We're just gonna say we appreciate your not we appreciate. I can see why you put in all this effort. Like, good job, but it's not it. Okay.
I mean, it rubbed us the wrong way, but hey, I'm sure that it might work for somebody else. So if you're listening and you did this, we definitely wish you the best. but and you know what? If you're listening and you were thinking of giving people's sons, people's daughters surveys, think twice, because listen, you don't want to end up giving podcasters more content out there. But yeah, this was so fun. Steph and Nana, thank you so much for doing this with me.
It's my pleasure.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
I had a good time. Well, anyway, for everybody who's listening, thank you so much for listening. And let us know what your thoughts are about this whole questionnaire thing. Till next time, guys. Peace. Ndiwe wandiro ya moyo wangu, ndiwe wandiganganiza fungo zangu.